Hey everyone, welcome. It is good to have you here. Those of you who are joining me live or on the replay, we're talking about SEO, search engine optimization, and it's still relevant in 2019 if you want to earn new clients. SEO has been one of the number one ways in which I have earned new clients through the years, and I, continue to stay on top of it, work at actually do it a lot for a number of my clients. So it really is an important part. It's a piece of the puzzle when trying to build a business. I have certainly used search engine optimization for 20 years, and I've grown a few companies just based on being found in the search engines. And there are many things that have changed through the last 10 years, especially 15 years, that I think it's important to talk about. Things have kind of been reverting back a little bit to tactics that really didn't work maybe a couple of years ago, kind of work again. But it's not the tactics. I'm happy to share ideas about the tactics, and I will. And I actually have some question and answer queued up, ready to go after I give my baseline chat here. But those of you who are here live and pop in, feel free to put something in the chat if you have a specific question about SEO, or on the replay, feel free to ask questions so I can get you up to date on what's happening. But I think it's more the theme of what the search engines are looking for, because I run a lot of tests and can compare the data of what is happening, the trends. I see the trends across many different industries in terms of what is helping websites rank. And some of the obvious ones, I think, today are obviously mobile. The sites that are set up for mobile really does obviously support the mobile first concept, where we design around mobile first and then desktop. And Google is approaching it the same way, really. So with mobile, you need obviously responsive design. I mean, believe it or not, I still run across sites that are not responsive design. In responsive design, all that means is that a website fits to the size of the screen. So if you have a big screen, it could look totally different than it does on a mobile phone, because it changes. Maybe information is removed or adjusted to fit the different screen sizes. And that's done through CSS cascading style sheets. And that just tells how, based on different size media, how to interact with the screen in terms of the display. And that's important. It's important to increase your speed for the usability of a website. You just have to have speed. That really is important. And these are factors. What this comes down to is obviously user experience. User experience is a big part of what happens. And Google really does look around and see how people are using websites, and are they getting the information that they want. The thing is, when we talk about social media, we talk about how social media wants to keep people on the platform. Well, Google's kind of the opposite. Yes, they want to make money, but they want to do such a good job that people trust all the advertising and opportunities that they put up there. So if they trust Google to give them the best, then when an advertisement is relevant to somebody, they're going to click on that advertisement because the advertisement's real. And so they're really strict about these things, and they want the same with the results. So your goal as an SEO, as an owner of a website, as far as your SEO strategy, you want to stop that search. You want to end the search. That should be your number one focus. End the search by offering such great information. I mean, the number one thing that Google does not want to happen, the number one thing, is to have you or anyone searching go to the second page. If they go to the second page, Google has failed. And they do claim that people go on further on additional pages. And if you think about it, because of mobile, people scroll a little more. So they're used to scrolling, like going through Instagram, scrolling. So I can see how people do go further down today, which is good. Gives you an opportunity if you're not in the top 5 or 3 spots. But pretty much you need to be in the top 10, if not the top 5, for any significant traffic for a solid keyword. Now, one of the things that I've been seeing is, and I'm going to get onto this trust element in a moment, but one of the things I've been seeing is that more and more microdata, schema.org data and setup, go to schema.org and you'll get all the information. Having that in your website is very helpful, especially if you want to be in those snippets at the top of the search results. And I actually take advantage of this on a few sites, and it works out pretty darn well, to be quite honest. But it gives the search engine some more data to pull from, and it is helping sites rank. And I'm seeing that, especially if you have a local business and you have the local business data in there. There's a few different ways in which you can put the script in there. If you go to, again, schema.org, they show you 2 or 3 different ways and methods in which you can put that script in your website. Some of them show when you actually put it in, it shows the data, and some does not. So you can decide which is best for you. But it does give the search engine some information. But this comes down to, as much as the user experience, how about user trust? And what I've been seeing in the data as I continue to look at the trends, I see more and more, especially as the European Union has started to crack down on websites and spam, and it's going to spread in trust. I've been seeing more and more how items related to being a trustworthy website have helped rank websites. Now, there was a big boost earlier. It's kind of leveled off, but it's still important and probably will be important again as more and more countries make sure that there needs to be some sort of compliance. So elements, hey, how you doing? Let's see. So Diana, do you use a lot of SEO for your website? I've been finding that phone numbers, having a U.S. phone number, or wherever you're from. If you're in France, I'm assuming that having a phone number from France would be what you would need. But a U.S. mailing address, terms of service, having a terms of service page, having an about page, a good, well-rounded, complete page for terms of service, your policies, as well as anything that would give people a reason to trust that website. So in other words, thin websites without all that additional information supporting it is really important. So Diana says, for my YouTube mainly, some for my website. And in search engine optimization is certainly important for a YouTube channel to get found. And I have learned that there's a lot of similarity across these platforms between Google and YouTube, especially when we're talking about click-through rates. Click-through rate does play a role when it comes to Google SEO, because obviously if people click on it, it gets a high click-through rate, and it shows you in Search Console what your click-through rate is. So they're showing you that this is an important thing. So that is really important. So make sure that you have a clickable title, just like in YouTube. Even on your blog posts or your web pages. Yes, having a keyword in there is also important. However, making it a clickable title, making people click on it, and then, of course, when they click on it, you have to serve up the promise of that click on the other side and in the search. And if you can do that, get a good high click-through rate, and in the search, Google is going to continuously boost your pages up the ladder. And it does take time, because Google is going to continuously, especially if you have low authority, just like a YouTube channel, the authority level based on experience is. So Google is going to test your pages, just like it does in YouTube. When you put up a new video, it's going to test it against other videos. And Google does the exact same thing in search results. And it changes all the time, and it's always trying. You'll see yourself go up and down, and there are different reasons for that, in and out of the index, or at least the top 100, not in and out of the index, but out of the top 100, because you're always being tested, and you want to continuously improve what you have to offer to people who are looking for specific information. That's why it's important to continuously update and refine and improve your web pages. It does make a difference. There's been a movement over the last year or two, especially for blog posts related to SEO, is to not produce as many blog posts, but create longer ones, more in-depth blog posts. And then once you've established your title, maybe it's, how to fix Ford cars, just sake of argument. And so you have a blog post on that, rather than writing more blog posts on how to fix Ford car, something specific, ignition. I don't know. You have a broken ignition. Of course, now you just push the button, right? But anyway, if that's the case, rather than creating more and more posts, you would actually increase the length of that and add more depth to that article and work your way up the search engines that way. Now, that's something you really can't do on YouTube. You can't replace that and add to your video. However, that is certainly the way you want to go about it in Google. And that's been the trend. All right, Diana says, I have managed to rank on Google for several videos. Ranking my website is a little harder because I have a common name and a common business. But I do what I can. Absolutely. The thing is, it's activity. You got to keep active, keep your pages active, figure out, don't worry about your name, because honestly, it's not, search engine optimization is about driving traffic to your website. And it's not about driving traffic to your website based on your name, your brand. There is branding elements for larger companies, but for the most part, you want people to find you based on what you do, not your name or who you are. So you have a common element. So you have to, as an editor or a videographer, you need to take time to position yourself and develop your own niche. And one thing that I'll be getting into on the other channel, as I'm doing my 31 days of videos, is that as we use this combination code to separate ourselves from the competition, we develop our own niche that we own, that we are the expert in. But it doesn't stop there. We also have to sell that. We have to be able to sell that to people and educate people as to why this is a problem and why this is a better way to go. But when they accept that, and you find the people who are looking for that, and you start building the brand, people will start looking for it in the search, and you do want to be there for that brand, that element, that niche that you have helped create. But you have to be able to sell it. And once people buy into it, the nice thing about it is that people will pay your rate, because you're the person. You're the person that does this. You're a photographer and a writer kind of a thing, combination. You have certain skills that you can combine together that make you unique, and you're one of the very few. And when you're one of the very few, then there's less competition. But sometimes you have to develop something that you have to get out there and sell and let people know this is the way. This is the new category that I've created, and I am the leader in that area. So what you need to do when it comes to the website is develop blog posts around that, solving people's problems. And obviously the solution is you and your way in your category, but you pick some very focused topics, maybe 20 topics, and over time you will continuously write about them. And then, once you fill out all 20 topics that you think are relevant, and the conclusion is your category, the way you do things, your specialty, your niche. Once you have all those laid out, then you start increasing them. And that's kind of what I'm doing over at the2blog.com. The2blog.com is my YouTube blog. And it's not really robust. I have maybe about 12 articles there, and I've been expanding some and adding some as I come up with ideas. And over time, they're starting to rank. I noticed the other day, small YouTuber problems, which is something I think I got from Roberto Blake. I think he's the one who's really pushed that concept. But I think, don't come back to me and say, oh, you were wrong about this. But looking at my charts the other day, I saw that, and my article was #1 for small YouTuber problems. So, my site's gaining authority over time. And what some of the things that I need to do for some of my sites are what I was just talking about. Adding some elements to add trust to those pages, such as maybe phone numbers in terms of services. Maybe on websites I never thought I would do this. So expanding out, making your website very trustworthy, making it feel like it is a place, to go that's solid and not just going to be here today, gone tomorrow. So if you think of those two things, customer experience, searcher experience, and trust, that's a big part of what Google is putting weight on today when it comes to search engine optimization. Keywords are still huge. If you look down the list, when we compare all the websites and what's going on, keywords are still king. I would say more so than with even YouTube, as we're talking about. And if you have your keywords in your title, your headlines, your subheads, that's really important. And then related keywords to your core keyword. And that all supports. And keyword density, which used to be a thing supposedly of the past, is now a thing of now again. And getting your keyword in your pages a little bit more than you did before seems to help your rank. I don't know how much it went away, because I always, at some level, felt that as I added a little bit more in a way in which people can consume and be happy with, not robots, that is presented nicely, has worked out pretty well. It really has. So adding keywords, adding length, making sure that you are presenting additional value to these folks, get those keywords in there. It makes a big difference. Again, the title is extremely important, making it clickable for that click-through rate. Links are still important. And we've had this conversation for years, how Google doesn't want people to be thinking too much about links and just let that happen naturally. A good page will earn the links. And in many cases, that's true. In many cases, that's not true. And I'm not going to say go all out and try to do a link building campaign unless it's just that important to you, or you want to designate somebody who knows what they're doing, or you hire a company. However, getting out there, commenting on blogs, and that I don't want to make that a thing, but that could be part of it. I mean, comments on blogs with your link has some value, even as a no follow. But guest blog posts, but talking to vendors, talking to friends and family or people that you know online and saying, hey, can I do something that would earn a link to my website? Maybe we can work together. Now, just outright trading links, that's not a good thing to do. I mean, Google's pretty smart, but Google's pretty smart, but not that smart. There's a lot of things you can do that, look, if it seems like, look, there's a reason, looks like there's a good reason why there's a link there going to here, then definitely do it. I mean, because if someone like a vendor sends a link to one of your inside pages because it's relevant to what they do, and it maybe even mentions them as a supplier as for the whole product or whatever it may be, that's valid. So there's no reason why Google will be mad about it. Google just doesn't like, spammy. I mean, that's half their mission, to stop the spam. But, having multiple links on multiple pages and multiple domains and locations, I mean, you just want to have a variety of different types of links. And even social media sites, when you see a new social media site pop up, sign up and put your link in. See a new directory pop up, sign up and put your link in. It all helps your authority, and even your name helps your authority. Now, obviously, Diana Wilson, you're saying your name, obviously a common name. And yeah, that's going to be tougher in terms of the citation portion of it. But if they see your name around the word editor a lot, then, maybe, and then there's a website, Google can pull it together. But maybe you have a brand name that you can combined with that to help separate yourself that way in the terms of, branding in Google specifically, so you can separate yourself that way. So having the brand name, that can be very important, especially when you have your own, especially when you have a name that's very common, and you want to separate yourself so you can get those citations. So when someone just mentions it somewhere, doesn't necessarily have to link to your website, but mentions your name and it's around editing, Google will deduce that it's, related to your website, and in a way giving your website more authority, even though there's not a direct link there. Obviously, it's been pretty easy for me related to Rosh and photography and all that. I mean, that having a unique name that way has been very helpful for me in that case. So it does work. It is helpful. It may be something to think about. So I want to talk briefly about this channel in May and the other channel in May, and then I have some question and answers teed up. If you have more questions, feel free to put them in the chat related to your website. And I am, and then of course I'll answer questions on the replay. So as far as this channel goes, I'm probably gonna have one video a week for this month on the channel and try and go live usually on Friday. So that'll be 2 videos a week, because right now on the other channel, which is Business for Photography channel, oh my goodness, I have a video going up every single day, including weekends. And I haven't done anything like that since I was uploading daily before for that entire year. And so I'm ahead. I have videos through Tuesday right now. So I'm good. Still have a little editing to do, but I'm good. And so continue on. Looks like I'll be able to stay on top of it next week. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Thank you. Thank you for the sympathy. So, I'm enjoying it though, and I'm coming up with some good stuff in 31 topics. Well, I think if someone really goes through all 31 of the topics by the end, I think they're going to have a good education related to business. I was listening to a podcast this morning. I was actually listening to Marketing Over Coffee podcast, and they had an interview, and that person was, my goodness, just right on with what I've been thinking and talking about related to business and growing a business. And he's a well-known CMO, chief marketing officer with years of experience. And he's just kind of going contrary to what a lot of people are saying. And I'm like, yes, but that's what I'm saying too. And so I was really, really happy. It made me feel good about what I'm doing on the 31 days on the other YouTube channel, because I am really giving what is growing a business today, what it is all about. And so I am thrilled, and it seems to be getting some traction. Today's video isn't doing quite as well, but it's still early in the game. The people keep watching, and here's the nice thing: the videos, people are watching. I'm getting 70-80% retention with these. The first one had a lot of people from my email list and people driven from outside of YouTube. And so there I was sitting at about 50-55%, but these are on 10, 11 minute videos. So I'm seeing 7-8 minute retention on these 10-minute videos. Pretty happy. I'm hoping that, the Google or YouTube, search and destroy engine will get me out there over the coming days or months, because the numbers are there. The click-through rate from a day ago, 7.5% click-through rate and a 70% retention rate of 7 minutes. I mean, isn't that like the magic number everybody's talking about? So I'm hoping we shall see. So anyway, so won't be as many videos on this channel. It's all happening on the other channel. I've been waiting. I just had that. It's just about time for me to give that channel some love. I opened it up a year and a half ago, and it started off great, and I was doing stuff, but then I really wanted to focus on my other one and this one, and really wanted to make it a go. But it really does show how having a niche, all I had to do is breathe on the other channel would grow. So having a niche really does make a big difference. But I've learned so much doing it the hard way on this channel. I really have. And thank you for subscribing to both. I appreciate that. But I have done it the hard way. When I talk to people through the years, such as Brian G. Johnson, he and I have gone back and forth for years. And he's always like, man, you're just too broad in what you're doing. It's like, I know. He's like, well, if you want to keep growing slow, you're just going to do it. Keep doing what you're doing. And I know, but I figured if I could keep the channel growing, even if it's slow, with the way I was going about it, I could learn so much, and I have. And now I'm applying all that to the other channel, which is a lot easier to grow. So we'll see how that goes. See if it pops or not. But either way, I'm pretty sure by the time I'm done with this, I'll have 2 channels with over 1,000 subs. So I'm good with that. And like I always say, once you hit the 1,000, who knows where you're going to end up? There is no point of arrival. Yes, there's some nice points along the way, 100,000, getting a silver play button if you get that far. But, where is that real arrival? There is no, because when you have a silver, you want a gold, and when you have a gold, you're wondering why you don't have 10 million. And when you have 10 million, you wonder why you're not beating PewDiePie. I mean, there's just never an end. So I figure get to 1,000 and then let it ride. Just do your best moving forward for the rest of your YouTube life, which I think will be quite a while. All right. Yes, once you hit that first 100, it does move a lot faster. My first 100 on the first channel was about 10 years, because that's when I got serious. From 07 to 16 is when I got serious on this channel, and I had 100, and then I started going from there. And then my other channel, I got 100 in 2 days. So, but that's because I had a great email list. So, and it's just continued growing as I threw, a video out once in a while. I'd go weeks without putting a video up there. Just keep growing. So, but that's the niche thing. That's the niche and the big advantage. So, here we go. Took me a year to get 100, 3 months to get the next 300. Yeah, absolutely. It does snowball like that. And so it really, you just have to go for the ride and know you're going for the long haul. That's it. So, okay, question answer on SEO. What is a successful SEO campaign? There are 3 ways I measure success in an SEO campaign. And the first one, the 4 things if you go with this first part. The first part is that to understand what SEO is. Search engine optimization is a way to drive traffic to your website. That's it. Through the search engines, driving traffic. It does not guarantee sales. Doesn't guarantee people, will fill out your form, engage with you, or even look beyond the one page they landed on. SEO is about getting them there. So that's how we have to now judge. So yes, you could have a side result of more sales or more inquiries or more downloads of an ebook. Yes, you could have all of that if things are good, but the job of the website is to do that. So how do you judge if an SEO campaign is good? Well, you look at the year-over-year growth. So I would compare April to April, May to May 2019 to May 2018. How much growth did I have? So that's one. I look in Search Console and see how I'm increasing the amount of impressions. Am I getting more impressions from Google? Kind of a similar thing with YouTube. YouTube is showing us the same thing now, the number of impressions. And we can get the same thing in Search Console, and it's extremely valuable. So if that's going up, that's positive, that's branding, that's more opportunity to have our website clicked on. And the third one is the one everybody sees as obvious, which is where are you ranking? And, so moving up the ranks can do that. And all these things work together. So that is what search engine optimization, that is what a successful campaign is all about. Okay, the next question is Yoast a good plugin? All right, for those of you who are on WordPress, Yoast is the most common SEO plugin. And I say, yeah, absolutely. I don't buy the upgrade. They're there really is really nothing in the upgrade that I feel I need. Maybe there's something new in there that I haven't looked at, but these days for the most part, I have a keyword. It allows you to have like when you upgrade, you can have multiple keywords on a page. I want one keyword on a page. That's my focus. Each page is an opportunity to be found. If I have 2 topics, I want 2 pages. And so that's why it's not such a big deal to me. But yes, it's a very, very helpful tool. There's also one called MathRank, which I find very helpful. I've been testing that, or Rank MathRank. Either way, it's a newer SEO plugin, and I really like it. It's very robust, and I found some nice features in it. So I'm using that on a couple of my websites to see how it works out. And there we go. I used Yoast when I was on WordPress. It was simple to use. Absolutely. It really is. It's an easy plugin. It's gotten better through the years. And MathRank, again, is another one to consider too. Either way. Yoast is the one that's been around the longest and most certainly has the track record to back it up. Let's see. I heard you mention something about a ratio, and I think I know what this person was talking about. The keyword golden ratio. That's something created by Doug Cunnington, and he is a affiliate marketer. He's a nice guy. I've had some communications with him here and there, and he developed a ratio to help you kind of figure out what might be something, maybe in a really niche area where you could start driving traffic to, especially a new blog or website. And basically what you do is you look for, and you can use something that I've talked about using Answer the Public and maybe Keywords Everywhere, combine them, look for keywords or phrases that have about 250 volume of 250, meaning enough 250 people search and go to websites based or search for that specific keyword, based on what the Google data is offering us. We know that's not all exact, not 100%. However, we look for those kinds, 250 or below. And then we look for, we take that phrase or those keywords and we put it in Google and use all in title. And what you do is you put all in title, colon, I believe it's colon, and then you put in your keyword. It's a methodology that you can then divide. So you take the all in title results, you take your all in title results. So basically it'll tell you how many times that phrase or combination of keywords is showing in a headline in Google results. And so let's say it's 50. And so that means there's a volume of 250. There are 50 web pages that have that keyword in them, and then you divide that 250 into 50. And if it's under 0.25, then this is a good keyword golden ratio topic. And so that's what that's all about. You can look that up. Doug Cunnington has a number of videos on it. It's certainly worth it if you're considering affiliate kind of work, or you're trying to get some new traffic to a young blog or website, and you don't have a lot of authority but want to get some traffic relatively soon. And believe me, I set some stuff up with an affiliate site last fall, and I'm getting about 6,000 without doing much. I mean, I wrote for about 3 months, and I've kind of left it alone over the last 2 or 3 months, and it's getting about 6,000 visits a month, 4 to 6 on its own. So I have some stuff that I have to do to really develop that and improve. I love Keywords Everywhere. Also, Ubersuggest. Absolutely. I use Ubersuggest all the time. Neil Patel's site, Ubersuggest, is one of the places I go first when looking for those combinations to see, what kind of a word do I want to use or phrase, and then I put it into Keywords Everywhere. Well, Keywords Everywhere will show me, or Answer the Public, or combination things, just double checking things, and then I'll kind of do the keyword golden ratio thing and see if it fits. I'll do the all in title in Google, see if it fits, and off we go. So yeah, it works out pretty well. Putting a blog or a website together with just all in title results, keyword ratios, it's going to drive you traffic. It's going to take 6 months or so, and boy, those pages will start to pop. So, and I have a couple new pages starting to pop right now, which are driving traffic every single day. About 100 visitors a day, every single day with the new pages that popped in the last, say, few weeks. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's what I like to use. Doug Cunnington is his name, keyword golden ratio. Okay, long or short articles. This is a good question and one we've kind of addressed, but generally longer is better. A lot of times people will say, oh, but people don't have attention spans for long articles. And that's true, but people don't share the short articles. They share the long, meaty, authoritative articles. And so more than anything, you're going to, Google seems to like that. People are more willing to share. And yes, that's a signal, because if you see a good, thick article full of pictures and headlines and graphs and charts, you're more willing to share that than maybe a 2-paragraph article that may pretty much say the same thing or give you the same foundation. So the thing is, longer articles are better. And that's why I've been just focusing on some key titles, things that I can rank for, and then over time add to it. So that's where we are today. When it comes to SEO, search engine optimization activity is still important. I've always said this, that SEO or social media activity, being active, and that activity keeps things moving. And let me tell you, it does work. So activity, thinking about the customer experience, as well as the trust value that's even more important. I think that word today is probably, in SEO, is probably the newest word that really needs to be considered in SEO today, based on the way the algorithm has shifted. And part of that is because of policies by governments. And so, you need to have a trustworthy site, and Google certainly wants you to have a trustworthy site. And so they're giving you a little extra boost for proving that it's a trustworthy site. And so connecting with the, Google Search Console, Google Analytics, if you have a local business using Google My Business, all those things, all that stuff works together. Everything you do, having multiple social media accounts and driving traffic to that, and it's all related to what it all works together. And traffic does play a role. And sometimes it doesn't matter how you get that traffic. I have a couple of clients where I have display traffic using Google display ads, and it's only there for traffic. I'm sending hundreds of people a day to that website only for the traffic value, because it's good traffic. People are looking around and then leaving. It's giving Google a good sign that this kind of traffic is positive, and it helps the rankings. So all that, it all fits. It all works together. Well, thank you all. And I'm slacking on my Google. Yeah, let me tell you, Diana, I am too. So I've been looking at it. But yes, there's so many new things in the Google My Business. It's amazing. And there's more to come. It's worth going in every 3 months and just kind of updating things or seeing the new opportunities that are there, because it will make a difference. I mean, you can create a whole website. Why not? Create this website, and you can have links from that website to your main website. Why not? It's a Google property, and you know who Google loves? Google. But your YouTube channel also being a Google property, Google loves links from there too, although they're no follow. But don't drive people off of your YouTube channel in great droves, because they don't like that either. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you. I'll probably be on next Friday. And those of you who have questions, feel free to put them in the comments. And I should have one video next week. And again, I'll be seeing you every day on the Business of Photography channel. And thank you to everyone who has supported these channels. We'll talk to you next time. Thank you, Diana. I appreciate all your questions and thoughts.